Hey there, welcome back to my garden. My last update was almost exactly 2 months ago in February, beginning of February. It's not the beginning of April, and a lot has happened since then. I've done a few tiny updates. So an update on the garden. This looks dug into. I forget what I had planted there, but this pea plant is definitely shifted from where it was before. And I had a few seeds that I had put in there, like some tomato and cucumber. I had at least a dozen radishes growing here, and now I see 1, 2, 3. I think there have been squirrels in the garden. I also had some pepper sprouts. I had one here that is now gone, as well as some up there. All up in here I had a bunch of spinach and lettuce sprouts coming in. They're just gone. Everything's gone. I definitely had a strawberry plant there that is now just gone. I had another strawberry plant there that is now just gone. It looks like maybe my radish seeds and beet seeds that I planted the other day might be safe, but I'm not sure about where I put cucumber seeds. And the bird feeder. This was full. It is now not full. I believe a creature that is too large for it tried to climb up on it and then knocked seed everywhere. First, and I have my first pea blossom. I'm so excited. But it's been a bit since my last kind of full garden walkthrough. Things are actually growing now, which is super exciting. Yeah, so I guess let's start with the tiny bed. You can see here that this compost pile of sorts where we had put all the garden scraps from pulling things out has started literally composting down. It's broken down, I think, by half the volume at least. And I've decided to put some onions in the bed here, and so those are growing nicely. I've kind of succession sowed them. We had a bird feeder here, but then that was also attracting squirrels, which has been my #1 nemesis in the garden. It's been a bad time, to say the least. I've also expanded into having some containers. So I have a one of these felt pot, smart pot type things that has some lettuce mix and some spinach growing in it, although the spinach seeds don't seem to have sprouted. I see only lettuce mix in there. Various other containers, some with dying plants, ignore those. But I have a little kind of mini herb garden here too. So I have thyme in here that's growing nicely. I've used it in quite a few recipes already, as well as some little poppy seeds, I believe, that are going to grow into nice California poppies, and some sage seedlings as well. The packet of sage seeds was actually just getting moldy, so I was like, oh shoot, I guess I better plant them, see if something happens. And there's actually a whole bunch of little sage seedlings in here now, so it's super exciting. I'll probably have to thin those, but they're really cute and they smell nice. Then I also have this berries and cream mint plant. I bought it as a transplant from my local nursery, but I just love, it has a very unique berries and cream mint flavor and smell to it, and I really enjoy it. So moving on to the second bed. This is actually from a Napa cabbage stump that had just regrown in water. It started rooting, and I planted it out here and it sent up flowers. So I'm gonna try to save seeds from this because I'm hoping it gets pollinated, and then I can grow Napa cabbage in the fall or next year. I also have some carrots that I have sown under this board. I'm trying this method of sprouting carrot seedlings. I hope it works because I tried it once before and nothing came of it. Carrots seem to be impossible for me to sprout. But I have a pea plant growing there. That's a pretty young one, as well as a bunch of purple plum radishes. I have more purple plum radishes here. A brandywine tomato that's not doing too great. It's tiny. And I have strawberries kind of all along the front of this bed, as well as more onions. Before I decided to put a bunch of onions in that bed, I put some in here. I've sown some DiRappa broccoli under here, and I just have that for protection from rain and squirrels. More strawberries, another brandywine tomato that is doing much better and hopefully will be trellising on this soon. That's another big addition since the last video, is this whole kind of chicken wire vertical trellis system that I've tried to install. James helped me put in these T-posts, and then we've just used a large chicken wire, and I'm hoping to kind of tie things to it, wrap things up through it, and hopefully support some plants vertically. In this bed we have some extra dwarf bok choy, which is the cutest thing. They form these tiny little bok choys, super tasty. We've used a lot in stir fries and ramen and stuff already. And Again, squirrels keep coming for me with some buried strawberry plants over here. They just dig things up all the time. There's a little cucumber sprout under there, but it's not growing too much. I've been trying to like use a barrier method of just like protecting the smallest of seedlings with different clear containers so that they can kind of be like a little greenhouse and kind of have some protection from the squirrels, but then they end up digging things up anyway. Like, there's been so much digging here. It's impossible. I tried putting cayenne pepper on it. It kind of works, but then the cayenne pepper washes away. But I bought a 10-pound box of cayenne, so hopefully things will start happening. And these are the tiny pea plants that I had in the last video. They have now grown up so much. This one is like the smallest of them, but it has several different shoots. And then these big ones are doing really well over here. I have like the first few flowers that'll become peas. I'm very excited. They're some of my favorite vegetables. And then here is some mesclun lettuce. I think I mentioned in my last video that I had sowed some lettuce here. That ended up all getting like eaten by squirrels or washed away. So I had to re-sow, but it's growing in nicely. Harvested a little bit for a burger that I put it on. And then I have some wonderful nasturtium plants coming in. I had never grown or eaten nasturtiums, but I ate a leaf of it the other day and it tasted like radishes. So that was unexpected, but exciting. I also have some spinach, little baby spinach plant there, a bigger one here that's growing out of literally the same spot as that pea plant, but seems to be okay. And another one here that has been unfortunately attacked by squirrels and maybe some bugs, I'm not really sure. These are those same green onion plants that I had planted here last time. They're doing good. I don't really know what to do with them. I just keep harvesting them for different soups and toppings and garnish. And then in here is a bunch of radishes, which I have yet to harvest, but I think it is time. So I'm gonna harvest my first radish. I'm very excited. Oh my gosh. It's so much green for just one tiny radish. Oh my gosh. I think maybe there's too much nitrogen in the soil, and so they're just like growing lots of greens and not a lot of root. I've been waiting on these for literally 2 months, and radishes are supposed to take like less than a month. Another one might be a little bigger. Oh no. I'm gonna leave that in there. That's so tiny. I don't know why these radishes are not forming, but you know what? It's gonna be cute. I'll wash it, I'll eat it, I'll have fun. We have, oh, I missed the kale. Next to the bok choy, we have some scarlet kale growing, and I have some more of that started inside on my grow light plant shelf, which I'll show you now. So it's kind of weird lighting, but that's because I got grow lights. So that's a big update to the situation. And I have kind of a bunch of different stuff growing in here. I have some chives, only a couple took, so I put a couple more seeds in there the other day. And I have some catnip. There's a few sprouts in here. Honestly, it's hard to see in like the color of the grow lights, but I swear there are little sprouts in there. I also have some cauliflower here. Unfortunately, they got really leggy before I got the grow lights in, because I started them like 2 weeks before I got the grow lights even, I think. And I also have some celery there that's also pretty leggy, but I'm hoping to salvage something. And then back there is some scarlet kale that I have some in the garden already, but then more sprouted just because I really like kale. And I have a few different types of tomatoes. I have some yellow plum tomatoes, as well as some yellow jubilee tomatoes, some lemon balm. This is cat grass, which Luna very much enjoys. I'll just leave that there for you. We have 3 different kinds of peppers because my last set of cayenne and habaneros did not take. I transplanted them way too early. They were super stunted and they just kind of all died to squirrels. So I have some more of those starting, as well as some serrano chilies. And these are the poblano peppers, which have continued to grow up and get bigger. And they really started taking off once I put them under the grow light and added some more soil and nutrients in there. They've been doing much better. They were really stunted for a while. Here I had more cat grass, but you know, this little girl chomped all that up. So I need to re-sow cat grass in that. Here I have some Black Beauty zucchini coming up. I have some Black Beauty eggplant starting to sprout down in there. I have some Clemson spineless okra, which I've never really grown okra. I've actually only eaten it a few times, but I know that I do like it, so that'll be fun. Those are honestly getting kind of big for the bottle I have them in. And I have some Thai basil, some National Pickling cucumbers, and a little thing of hops that was really a fun thing from like one of those Target dollar spot growing kits. And then in here, I'm very excited about, I have little dragon fruit seedlings. And so dragon fruit is actually a cactus, but I have three seedlings of a white flesh variety and 3 of a red flesh. And that'll take several years for them to develop into plants that can actually produce fruit, but I'm excited about that. So this is my grow shelf. And now back in the garden, I also have a few kale sprouts growing there. Here I have, oh no, the squirrels have been back today, because this morning I had just uncovered a pepper plant that I had planted here, hoping for it to get some sun and maybe grow a little more. Oh, is that it? See, the squirrels just dig up everything. But here's another tomato plant. I think this is also a brandywine, but I had put Cherokee purples in this bed, but none of them have really been doing too well. Like, I have a tiny one here, but its leaves have been getting chomped and diseased, and gardening is not as easy as I thought it would be. So let's cover that little pepper plant back up, but it's been stunted. It was from the same batch as those ones inside, and you can see it's way tinier. It has not really grown at all since I planted it in. And yeah, I just have more and more peas coming up. And down here we have some wheat and some barley that came in that same like Target dollar spot box with the hops. The hops hadn't sprouted yet by the time these were like growing really big, so I just planted them in a container out here, and I'm still kind of nursing the hops indoors. We only have one sprout of it. I'm hoping it'll like turn into some fun plant, but not really expecting to harvest anything from it. I think it would just be fun to have. Also in here is some more little poppy sprouts. They are cute and tiny, and hopefully we'll have some really cute flowers. And then in here I have more radishes. If you can't tell, I've planted a lot of radishes, mostly because I'm impatient and I've been told they're like the fastest growing vegetable. So I grow them a lot. I do enjoy the flavor, not as much as it would seem by how many I have planted, but I want harvests quickly, so that's why I have so many radishes. But then these are French breakfast radishes. So I actually have 3 different varieties, because this is a sparkle tip, and then I have the purple plums, and then these are French breakfast. And these in the back are some Kentucky Wonder pole beans that I'm planning to kind of trellis up this thing, maybe. I think this might be, this is definitely too small of a pot for them, but I might just have to thin them down and have like one plant in here to trellis up. And this is a rose bush that I think has some sort of problem that I need to resolve, not really sure. And here I have a pot of rosemary. Most of my herbs I've been keeping contained into containers because a lot of them I've heard tend to spread out and sprawl and take over entire garden beds, so I've been advised to keep them in containers. This is just a bunch of soybeans that I had sprouted in intentions to like eat the sprouts, but then they went a little too far and I didn't want to eat them, so I just kind of threw them out here, and they're kind of starting to grow, and I don't know what's happening there. That's just like a random experiment of sorts. But besides that, that is my garden so far, 2 months into my gardening journey. Hopefully it'll just keep getting better through the rest of the spring and into the summer, and hopefully maybe even into the fall and winter. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Go drink some water, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.